Welcome to the Backpacking Podcast, brought to you by Outdoor Vitals, makers of performance first ultralight gear. My name is John Kelly, and with me always, the king of Kentucky backpacking, the man who looks like he's a former member of Lynyrd Skynyrd right now. I don't know, Mr. Jeremiah Stringer.
Hey,
what's going
what's
on,
up,
man? Hey, listen, before we do anything, I just want you to know, I am highly jealous of the hair. I can't do that. Like, I can't grow that hair. I could try all I want. It would never look like that.
Well, nothing special about it today. Actually, my student said, Mr. Stringer, did you blow your hair out this morning? I said, no, I literally just washed and conditioned it and then drove to work. So nothing special, but you said the Lynyrd Skynyrd, Jonathan, Woodall Trails, he come over to the house the other day. He walked in. He walked around the corner. He's like, I didn't know you play guitar. I was sitting there at the, looked like a rock star, bro. Hair hanging down.
Yeah, dude.
You're thrown out, plucking away. Little Brothers Osborne, great band. But, yeah, man, we're having a good time here.
I love it. Well, hey, look, before we get into anything else, can we talk just for a second about something that's pretty exciting from Outdoor Vitals?
Yes, for sure.
All right, let's talk about this. This is the new Shadowlight Carbon 60 backpack. It just came out this week, and they are for sale right now. It is basically the upgrade to the old version of this backpack. And here's a few cool things about it. It's got a tuned carbon fiber frame stay, functional load lifters, foam back panel with targeted cutouts, contoured shoulder straps, increased hip belt contact. It's got additional storage in the roll top. It's got carbon fiber frame stays, ultra stretch mesh pockets for durable, expandable storage, and reinforced bottom panel fabric. And the one thing that if they can actually pull this off, it might be the greatest thing ever created in any backpack, and that is a large hip belt pocket that is one-hand operable. Now, I'm just going to shoot straight on this. I've never yet found a one-hand operable pocket that actually stays one-hand operable. Usually after like 2 trips, it's flimsy and you're never opening that thing with one hand ever again. So if they can actually pull this off, they have created maybe one of the greatest backpacks in the history of mankind.
Yeah, I'll tell you one of my favorite things, dude. Less than 2 pounds. It was like for the medium size, which maybe I need a bigger one, but it was like 31.5 ounces. So just squeaking in under 2 pounds. A lot of boxes they check mark there, man. My hip belt pockets are usually stuffed too full of candy and that kind of thing. And you got to two-hand it. But if they can pull that off, you're right.
And the price is right. Right now, if you are have a membership to the Live Ultralight membership, you get an actual $27.50 off the original price. And what I will tell you is that will put that backpack in under $250.
Wow.
So that is a good price for an incredible backpack. So Outdoor Vitals, thank you for sponsoring the podcast. Jeremiah, let's get on to other things right now. Something I haven't told you about is I'm going camping this weekend.
Oh, sweet, bro. What's that look like?
Well, my kids are part of what's called Trail Life and American Heritage Girls. They're like kind of like Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. But that once a year we do a combined all-family camping trip for those groups. And so guess who's camping for the second time in her life this weekend?
No way.
My wife.
Wow, bro. How do you convince her? Can you give us some advice? The people out there that are married to a man or woman and they're trying to drag them outdoors, but they're scared of bugs, they're allergic to everything, blah, blah, blah. How do you drag them away? Do you use the kids to guilt trip them? Do you kidnap them and, they wake up and they're like, oh my gosh, what is going on? How do you do it?
Well, I wouldn't say I do anything special. Basically, my wife, because we love our kids, we get involved with the programs they're in. And so my wife became one of the leaders in the American Heritage Girls group. And as a result of that, she kind of has to go.
Oh, yeah. She didn't get tricked into it. It's out of love.
No trick. Although I will say I do have an air conditioning unit that I'm putting in the tent. I have we've talked about this before. I'm taking that with me. I have a cot that sits about 2 feet off the ground and has a plush mattress type pad for it. The temps are only going to get into the 60s overnight. Like that's the lowest it's going to get. So she won't freeze. um, it's all working in my favor this week. There might be some rain on Saturday. There might be a little bit of rain on Saturday, but it rained last year on us and it was fine. But I'm also bringing a huge pop-up like canopy tent, so we'll be able to set up our table and all of our dinner stuff under that and stay dry even if it does rain and still be able to do stuff outside. We got a bunch of friends coming. My kids' friends are all going to be there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be fishing. We're going to be camping. We're going to be hiking. We're going to be doing a bunch of different stuff. So it should be a cool weekend.
Dude, your kids will remember doing this stuff for the rest of their life. It'd be core memories.
They love
Yeah.
it.
Are you putting that canopy over the tent whenever you're like just in case it rains, or is your tent seam sealed? Everything's good to go.
Oh, yeah.
Because some people
do you remember the big orange tent I brought when we went overlanding? That one, except this time I'm putting guy lines on those side panels because
it's about to fly away.
It only happens when you got 50-mile-an-hour winds. I mean, if it wasn't for that, I'd have been fine. I still need to release that video.
Dude, I was out there in a hammock and actually, who was it? Mitch, he had a hammock stand and it actually blew over.
Yeah, that was a rough night, man. I remember my tent caved in. It was so loud because the lid off of my my Blackstone, the wind blew the lid off my Blackstone. Not like blew it up, blew it off.
Yeah,
if you can believe that.
You got some good comments in there.
Oh yeah, we got a great one right now. That's a $4.99 super chat from Derwin Off the Rails, saying, "Guess who's coming to the meetup in October? The Indiana boys are sneaking in the back door." I have an update for you, Jeremiah, that you're gonna like.
Okay, let's hear it.
Some things in my schedule have changed, and guess who's gonna also be able to be there for the meetup?
No way.
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to be there, but now I'm gonna be able to come. So.
Well, I am meeting Mr. Backpacking with Jason, sir, this week, and we're finalizing a spot. So next week's episode, we should have an official announcement. We'll spread it all over social media. Hopefully, far outreach the podcast, and just anybody that's in the area will get to come. But October 10th through 12th, Red River Gorge. Right now, we're kind of looking at the Indian Creek area and seeing if there's this giant flat area where people could just drive up and pitch their tent.
Tons of campsites through there too.
Yeah. So maybe here's my one drawback of that, man. You tell me should this be a drawback? Basketball season's coming up. I'm go Big Blue, baby.
There is no coverage. There is no phone coverage. If you want any cell coverage, we have to go to a different spot. 100%.
Yes. The problem is, I was like, dude, I could bring the iPad, and I've done this in the past, watch a game or something out there. There's going to be a bunch of people, I would assume, that's going to be camping. So I would just set it up in a spot. And, if I'm watching at the time, fine. If I'm not and I'm just hanging out talking, fine. But Big Blue Madness is that Saturday. They just announced it like last week. So
you better consider that going into this.
I'm considering, man. So that's what I don't know. I would really love to do it on top of the staircase, but I don't know where everybody would park to get up there for overnight. So we'll see, but we'll announce it officially next week. We'll get you a spot, but the dates are October 10th through 12th. Just know right now at Red River Gorge. Other than that, I think I said last week, this is adult themed, adult friendly. So, I don't know if I would drag the minors along.
Fair enough.
All right.
So with all that, we just had Doc Watson ask what the date is. The date is October 10th through the 12th. So mark your calendars. Mark your calendars.
Have we ever met Doc Watson in person? I know he's been listening to the show for years.
Never seen. I've never actually seen him outside of his profile picture. And maybe some pictures on Facebook. I think I've looked at some of his Facebook pictures.
Yeah, Jeremy, all things outdoors. I'm going to miss him this year. He said he's got a lot of stuff going on with the kiddos. I totally get it. Being a dad myself, I talked to him on the phone like a week ago, and he was very bummed. But Jeremy, we'll get together, man. Maybe we can put it together another winter off-roading trip like we did last year. That's kind of where John almost lost his hand. Yeah, maybe we can put one of those together and get to see
That's where Jeremy lost his GoPro.
Yeah, and broke his winch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh man,
that was a rough.
I've got to get that video out. Like I've got so much good video from that, and I've not put that out yet. So it's gonna have to happen. I'm gonna have to sit down and actually edit that one. Maybe after I get back from vacation, I'll edit that one and put it out there because that was such a good trip, man.
Yeah, I agree. And by the way, Darwin Rail.
Plus, I have to say, Friday night tacos.
Oh, to die for.
Come on, man. Friday night tacos. That was a good night.
Yeah, I was getting set up. Thanks for y'all saving me one. And the
Mhm.
you done fajitas, didn't you, on the Blackstone?
Oh yeah, because I don't have a vehicle. Like it was one of those things I told Jeremy. I said, you guys are putting these like $40,000 vehicles out there and beating the tar out of them, and I'm just
Mhm.
coming out there hitching a ride. So I was like, the least thing I can do is bring some food and feed everybody. So I handled dinner the first night and breakfast the next morning. I made sure everybody had food those 2 times. So
Yeah, and I was gonna say Darwin off the rails. Can't wait to see you, man. I feel like I haven't seen him since at least last year. So yeah, it's always fun catching up. Salmon Outdoors. Look at him. He says he can confirm Doc does exist just beyond the Yep. And I bet that beard is just as luscious as it looks in the picture.
well, and
I
Doc
get.
Watson's actually been on Ben McMillan's podcast a couple times. So
Oh, okay.
and that's a great podcast. That's a great
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head.
I bet you Salmon Outdoors could tell us.
Is it Backpacker Blitz?
I think it's the Backpacker Blitz.
Yeah, I'll confirm that, but I'm pretty sure Hilltop Pack. Shout out Hilltop Packs.
There's
Oh,
not a
be
person
it.
on that I don't like.
If you want to meet the owner operator of Hilltop Packs, allegedly he's going to be there, and
Ooh.
Mr. Buckley, Tim Buckley, the newest employee of Hilltop Packs.
Well, he's
Yeah,
not.
it's
He's just the newest local employee. I mean, he's been the spokesmodel for years.
yeah. Excuse me, the newest in person employee because he was out west doing production and working, but now he's back in PA.
Yeah, he was just eye candy. He was just eye candy. Now he makes stuff.
And we can't wait to see him.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, let's get on to some fun stuff here. You've got down this thing about hammocks. You want to talk about the difference between hammocks, using them in trees, and using them in stands.
Let me set this up for you, bro. Look, this is coming out of left field, right?
I love it.
So I'm in this group text with multiple people, Woodall Trails being one of them, and several people that we backpacked in West Virginia with over there. And Brian Winburn will be there. Bring that giant katana, man. We're gonna have to saw up some wood. Actually, if we're car camping, we'll probably have chainsaws, but yeah, bring that just in case. So I'm in this group text with them, and they all are going to multiple hammock hangs multiple times. And sometimes they have these hammock hangs, but there's nowhere to hang your hammock. And I'm like, what a terrible place to have a hammock hang. So what they do is they say, okay, trees are limited. So you could, like, if you have a Jeep, you could do one tree and the other part of the hammock hanging off your Jeep. Have you seen that before? Like
Yep.
using your cars? So that's an anchor point. Or the most logical thing is you bring your own trees. You're like, I can't bring my own trees. Well, you're wrong. Your own trees are actually a hammock stand.
That's
So I
right.
started looking at these hammock stands. Actually, my house is not very conducive to putting up a hammock. Not any trees around the yard, just like a small peach tree and a little tree out front. So
I can honestly say, I definitely have 2 great trees for a hammock in my backyard.
Yeah, whenever we come up there to eat with y'all, dude, we went out to the backyard to hang out. I was like, gosh, look, he's got multiple places to put his hammock. I'm sitting over here, hammock scarcity.
Yeah. Well, really, the place I have it's the only place I have it because the rest of the trees are hickory trees, and if you know anything about hickory trees have hickory nuts, and hickory nuts fall off of hickory trees. And all you need is one to smack you in the face one time, and you will never put a hammock under one of those trees again.
Yeah. Or you had to put your tarp up just so you can lay in your hammock and not get the rock.
And pray that your hammock doesn't get destroyed.
Yeah. So they're talking about these hammock stands, and I was like, I could get one. I was like, which one would be better, hanging from trees or hanging from the hammock stands? And some of them were even talking about, could you bring your hammock stand on a backpacking trip with you? And I got to thinking, bringing your hammock stand with you, how would that even work? That seems like not very backpacker friendly. So I got the idea of us just briefly talking about it on the podcast just to help me make a decision, should I throw the idea away of the hammock stand, or is that something I actually need? So I put together a little list of the good versus bad on the stands versus hanging between two trees. So I wanted your opinion on it. So let's unpack it a little bit. Do you want to lead it, or do you
Yeah,
want me
I'll,
to?
I'll lead it. Well, let's talk about the good about trees, or about using trees instead of using stands.
Yeah,
So
and I'm pretty exclusively trees, by the way. So
yeah, I've never used a stand before. So we've got the trees. You've got they're light because you don't have to bring them; they're already there. So
yeah,
congratulations, Then you've got they're simpler because again, you don't have to
there's
bring them;
no
they're there.
setup.
They're natural
You can
integration,
naturally, yeah, you can
natural
naturally.
integration.
That's the whole point to your hammock is to hang between two trees. That's a naturally integrates together.
Yeah, makes you closer with nature.
That's right.
Um, it's way quicker. You don't have to set up a stand, so it's way
Mm,
quicker. Less failures, unless you have a dead tree and didn't realize it. But if you don't realize it, you're probably gonna be dead. So
yeah. Or
you
you're,
know,
like Mr. Backpacking Jason, sir, he had a strap that the buckle on the strap broke. Even though we said last week, I think he used those for like 10 years.
and
So
did you watch his video from this week?
no, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, he has the new buckle on his hammock, and it's got a little red ribbon kind of thing on it to help you like loosen it up, which is really cool. So I may order a new
Uh,
set of those. Mine are getting old too, though. Mine are only like a year younger than his, so I probably need to
ooh.
be considering a similar trajectory as he did. So the nice thing is, Jason's stuff goes bad, and then I buy my new stuff. So
Yeah,
like
his like
his
the
hammock
expiration.
when his fabric went out on his hammock and
Uh,
he just fell through it. I asked him about it. I said, "What were there any cues?" He said, "Well, I noticed there was a little bit of fraying, like that you could see it was getting fuzzy." And
uh,
I got my hammock for my next trip, and I noticed the fabric's looking fuzzy.
oh.
So I bought a new hammock. Um, and now that I
Wise.
see the buckle thing, and I'm like, my buckle's only like a year or two younger than his. I might have to get some new buckles. We've had the same
His,
one since 2019. So I
yeah.
mean, they're not new by any stretch of the imagination. So it may be time. Okay, less failures, and then the other one is cheaper because you don't have to buy the tree.
Yeah, or you don't have to buy the stand. Yeah.
Well, there's that too. I mean, you don't have to buy the stand or the tree. Both,
That's right.
you're good. All right, so here's the bads about the tree, and we'll talk about these now. After we say all the goods and the bads, we'll wait up. Bark damage. Now, if you're
Mhm.
using straps instead of rope, you're pretty good about not causing a lot of bark damage.
Yeah,
Usually, if
should
there's
minimize.
bark damage, it's from rope, and a lot of places, like I know in California, you can't do it that way, anyways. So
Mhm.
they're getting rid of that. You do need trees. That is, if you're planning on having trees, you should probably have trees. So that's a good one. Tree
Yeah.
scarcity. So, and that's going to affect you if you decide you're going to go in higher elevations, because the higher the
Uh-huh.
elevation, the shorter the trees or the lack of trees. Tree restrictions, like we were talking about, California has restrictions on certain things with
Mhm.
hammocks
Or the Smokies on
or
the
the
AT.
Smokies. Yep. Group challenges. Now this one,
Yeah,
explain that one to
meaning,
me.
the group challenges, meaning like, let's say you and I both wanted to take hammocks. Sometimes there's not enough trees for us to both have a spot. So then you're stuck like either you have to one person with a tent or one person with a hammock, or you have to share a tree, which the whole reason I'm hammocking is comfort and privacy.
Hmm.
So that takes away the privacy part. So, if you're going
Well,
with your wife or something, that might be a good thing. You can do the little
right.
triangle like a V shape.
Well, I will say this. Um, it also depends on the hammock you've got. My trip was a month or two ago with my buddy Josh. He has the Amok hammock,
Oh, that's the
and
sideways one.
that thing we went to a spot that you've been to the spot. It's opposite of Oxia Ridge. We have a spot out there, that cliff, and I thought we got a great spot to do this. There wasn't a really good spot for his hammock, so
It
because of
pays.
that, it was we had to rig it just so we could get his stuff to
Uh,
fit.
okay.
So that was rough, but you live and you learn. Let's see. What is this? Find the right hang. Find the right hang.
Yeah, sometimes you have like if your trees are too far apart, then you have to hang your straps really high in the tree
Yeah.
because otherwise you don't have the right pitch on either side. There's a certain angle you want it hanging at each time. And so I'm tall, so I'm lucky. Yeah, you got it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle, not to get
Yeah.
too deep in the weeds here. But yeah, sometimes you have to hang it higher or lower. So your tree spacing is really important.
Ben McMillan, backcountry bunk beds, more room for activities. And he said fur with an FIR. He's trying to talk like he's from here. Uh,
I love it. Step
but
Brothers, great people too, by the way.
have you ever seen? I think we talked about this before. People that stack stack hammocks above each other.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
We were just talking about it.
yeah, it's like last week. That's the most insane thing you could ever do. So okay, so that we've talked about negatives, and there was one other was mentioned over here. Let me see if I can
Mm.
find it. This is a good one. Brian Winburn said tree condition.
Yeah. What's he mean by the tree condition?
Well, is the tree dying? You know, are the trees in good shape? You know, that's a good one because you may find two really good trees, but there's a widowmaker hanging off the side of one of them. You know, or
Yeah.
who
I
knows?
think probably most of us are guilty if you do hammock hang of you hang your hammock up and then you sit in the hammock to see if it's good to go. And then one of the trees slowly starts leaning towards you. And you're like, oh my God, I didn't even realize
Uh
this
huh.
tree is totally dead.
Yeah.
And then after you see it, you can't unsee it. Right. But you kind of
Right.
have to make a mistake sometimes before you realize it. But go ahead, keep going.
No, I'm with you 100% on that. I remember there was one time I was backpacking. I think it was in the Smokies, and I saw this tree, and I was like, "This is perfect." So I put my hand against it and just pushed it, and the whole thing fell over. Like I
That's
didn't
what
have, I hadn't hung my hammock on it, but I mean, I just pushed it with my hands, and the tree fell over. I didn't. It had leaves on it and everything, but apparently, like, it was alive halfway up and up,
uh
and the bottom half that was just rotted. So I don't know if
Wow.
like termites or something had gotten into it, but that thing was
Yeah.
dead, dead as a doornail. Thankfully, I didn't try and sleep on that one. I might not have made it through the night.
Yeah.
So,
Would have leaned right into you.
so here's the question: do the bad things outweigh the good things?
Well, the simple answer for me is yes, because I do the straps. So I would assume the wider the strap, the more surface area on the tree, which means less damage. The whole deal with the rope, the reason why people are damaging it with rope is you're taking a rope and putting around it, and that creates.
So, well, I want to make sure I'm getting this right. You're saying the bad things outweigh the good things.
I'm saying that I think the good outweighs the bad.
Okay, good, good. I'm okay. I'm just making sure because, like, I asked you if the bad outweigh the good, and you said I would
Oh,
say
sorry.
yes, and I'm going. And then you start
Sorry.
arguing. Okay, so now we're on top of this. We got this now. Just
Well, I was probably thinking about my answer more than listening. That's my bad. I got to put my straight from school, man. Put on my listening ears. Yeah, I think the good outweighs the bad. Yeah, with the rope, you're talking about damaging the tree. With the rope, you're creating a little bitty surface area because you have a cylindrical shape going around the tree. With the strap, you have a flat. It's like a rectangle all the way around the
right.
tree. So I think the good outweighs the bad as long as you do it right. If you're out there and you're hanging on dead trees and stuff like I did, obviously that's a mistake. So
Really?
yeah, just a
I'm just
little bit.
kidding.
What do you think?
Oh, I think the goods outweigh the bad because a lot of them. I mean, a lot of times there's always trees. Like at least where we go.
Yeah,
Now we are very biased because we are East Coasters, and
sure.
most of your hammock camping is probably East Coast people. We have
Mhm.
way less restrictions on this half of the United States. We can get away with a lot more things. And honestly, we have such heavily wooded areas all over the place. There's always going to be trees around. And we don't have the kind of elevation where that affects the trees at all. Like our high elevation around here is like 1,200 feet,
Yeah,
so it's not like we
yeah.
have to deal with that as much.
How did Salmon Outdoor says that he put a tent above the hammock? Wait a
Wait, wait,
second.
wait, 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 wait.
How does that work? What's the what's the physics on that one? Can you elaborate a little bit? Now, I will tell you, they make those hammock tents, and I tried
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Terrible, bro. That is the worst. And now I could have just pitched it wrong, and that might be my bad. But I'm telling you, that was the most uncomfortable. Where I even got out of it and set up my own tent on the ground instead of sleeping in it. That's how bad it
To
was.
me, it seems like it'd be a bouncy tent.
it is bouncy. It's like a trampoline,
Yeah,
bro.
and
It's
that's I've always looked at those and thought, there's no way you could sleep in that like you would a tent just because of every move it would just do this the whole time.
well, the problem is you roll toward the middle. So basically the setup
Ah, yeah.
you got to have 3 trees in the perfect position because it's got to be like an equilateral triangle. So then you have ratchet straps, literal ratchet straps. I weighed this thing and it was like 18 pounds for the tent and the straps. And I was like, you can't take this thing anywhere but car camping. You got to have the perfect trees.
Right.
Already we're off to a bad start. You put up the platform however high you want to. Then you get on the platform, which is like a little trampoline, and you put the tent above it. So
Right,
now you
right.
on the platform and then up into the tent. And then you get up there and it's like a trampoline. And if you have multiple people in it, everybody rolls toward the middle. And I tried to sleep in it, man. I tried. And then I just couldn't. I had to get out. And actually, I set up 2 tents, one for me and one for the other person that was with me, because neither of us were going to stay up there. The hammock tent, don't buy it. Don't buy
Yeah,
it.
I've always thought that it just looked wonky is the best way I can put it. That's my word. It always looked wonky because it's so tight and so rigid that like I said, it's not like you're on a platform that's hard. It's
Mhm.
still fabric, so it's gonna be bouncy. And I've got no interest.
Okay, let me run through the stands good and bad real quick. And then there's some other stuff I want to talk about today that I think would be
Yeah.
really fun. Okay, the stands, the good, you could do treeless camping. You have flexibility in sites, like you could do car camping or you could be in the backyard. No big deal. And the setup's the same every time. You don't have to find trees to go between, and they
Right.
got to be the right distance. The pitch is consistent. The bad part, they're heavy and bulky. You can't take them backpacking. They're complex for me. And I assume that you're sticking different, I don't know, like tubular action there pretty much. And then limited terrain. You have to have a level spot to even put your stand on. Otherwise, I don't know. You
Uh-oh. I think Jeremiah might have just disappeared. Um
if it's not level, it'd
Oh,
probably be
there you are. You're back. You're back. You disappeared there for about 10 seconds. So let's go back
oh,
to
sorry about
can I add something to your bad that's not on here?
yeah, I'd love you to.
Can't handle heavy wind.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Can't handle heavy wind. We've seen that firsthand. Heavy wind because you're not really anchored down that well, not as well as a tree, anyways. And so that wind comes, you're probably going over.
Wouldn't you think that they have like stakes for these? Like he
They
probably just
do, they do. And I think who was it that had that at the overlanding thing?
that was Mitch.
Okay, it was Mitch. Okay, that's right. Mitch had it. Yeah, because he was driving that little Jeep too, which is pretty
Yeah,
cool.
new Jeep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think he said you can strap it, you can guy line it and everything. But I'm sorry, I don't see how guy line's really going to help a ton with the way that thing's going to set up. I don't know. It just looks like it's a sail waiting to fly off into the sunset.
I agree. So these, in my opinion, long story short, probably have their place, but it's not going to be as versatile unless your terrain is very limited.
Yeah.
Like you were saying out west, maybe in the desert or less densely populated
Yeah.
tree area or an alpine zone, you
Now,
know.
can I add something to this?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm fully cool with being proven wrong. Like if there is a hammock stand company that's sitting here hearing this
Mm-hmm.
and they want to say we're going to prove you wrong, send me and Jeremiah a stand. We will try it, and if we are proven wrong, we will talk about your stand on this podcast. We will eat crow, and we will tell everybody how great your stand is. But I'm serious. Like, send us one. I'm willing to take on a free hammock stand just to see if it works and see if it's something that's worth trying.
Yeah.
I do a lot of camping and backpacking, so like I could take it car camping and set it up and see how it does. But yeah, I mean, I'm more than willing to try one. Are you?
Yeah, this guy's slick, ain't he? He could sell a dog turd to a cat.
I'm
This
just
guy.
saying. I'm just saying. I mean, if you want to prove us wrong, prove us wrong. Open invitation. Any of you companies that sell these, like you've got, what's the one that's out right now that Woodall Trails has?
I can't remember, but I'm sure it's a budget-friendly
Oh, there's
version.
Yobo Gear. Yeah, Yobo Gear. John Groover, Yobo Gear. They have one. Or they have several, I guess. Oh, yeah, here we go. The Turtle Bug Hammock Stand. Yeah. Hey, if Yobo Gear wants to get a hold of us and say, hey, we want to prove it right. We want to make you guys eat crow. I will eat crow. I will wear a Yobo Gear t-shirt and hat while talking about it. And I will plug it like a madman on here for you. But I've got to be proven wrong. I got to be proven wrong.
If it's terrible, I'll rip it on here. If it's awful, don't send it because I'm going to be honest.
Oh, I remember. Okay, so people need to know this. Jeremiah's actually not kidding to some degree. We met with Outdoor Vitals over a year ago for the first time. We first started talking about the possibility of us partnering together a little bit, and Jeremiah was talking to Tayson, the owner of the company, about the Shadowlight backpack, and he tore into him about 3 different things he did not like about the backpack and couldn't understand why it wasn't better. So I'm telling you, Yobo Gear, if you've got thick skin and you're willing to give it a shot, send it our way. We will we'd be more than glad to give it a shot and see what happens. But you would also praise them. If it was good, you would praise them too.
Of course, in my opinion, I'm not sure how much weight it carries. This is entertainment, so I'm here to have a good time. But I will be honest, and that was all off air. That I won't mention what I loved.
Oh no. And here's the thing, they just redid the backpack, and I noticed a few of the things seemed to kind of fit in with some of the stuff you had talked about. So I'm not saying that Jeremiah might have some pull in his opinion, but it's possible.
Yeah, everybody's got one, just like butthole. All state. All state. All right, can we do? Do you mind if we do the fair or foul? I think.
Yeah, but I kind of want to talk about this other thing you have on here.
Okay,
we still got 30 minutes, right?
We got as long as you want.
Let's take about 15 minutes and talk about this because I like this next conversation we're gonna have here.
All right, yeah.
Because this gets people. My eyes are getting big. This gets people like fired up. So I kind of want to see if anybody gets fired up about this. But how much is too much for a top quilt or a sleeping bag?
Yeah, man. I see people texting me. They're, like I'll be in a group text and somebody order a piece of new gear and they're excited about it and it's getting shipped. And I'm like, I look at the price tag. I'm like, that's hefty. Or, oh, that's very affordable. I might get me one of those. Or, yeah, I can see that. And that's a fair price. So I started thinking, how much is too much? So I thought maybe we could look. I think UGQ, I decked it totally out. It was an underquilt for my hammock, and it was a 900 fill power, and it got extra stuff, right? Maxed it out, overstuffed, and it was right under $500.
Which is actually not as bad as what I would have anticipated.
Well, you got to think, just the overfill, the overstuffing, added in with the however much weight just a regular amount of insulation is at 900 fill, that stuff is expensive, and they're buying it by like the pound. Yeah. So they're paying thousands of dollars just for these feathers to stuff your sleeping bag with. So you got to incur some cost too.
Well, I mean, look at this though. You compare that to this. This is the Bison STS minus 40 degree sleeping bag by Western Mountaineering. $1,360 to $1,400.
Wow, that's a negative 40 degree Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's specialized gear there.
But here's the thing: if you are 6'6", it is $1,400. Now we can go back here because what I did is I went to REI's website, and if you're listening right now, we're actually on the website looking at it as we're talking. But you can go down through here and you can see this is a 15 degree from sea to summit. 15 degree. If you get the long version of this, $580.
Man.
And this is not a 0 degree. It's a 15 degree. And if it's a 15 degree from sea to summit, that means it's actually like a 40 degree.
Yeah, because I don't know if there's a survival. I think it's more survival, less comfort. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah. I mean, here's an image. We could look down here and see, but you can see where it says -9C. Let me see if I don't know if it'll let me actually. Now, it won't let me zoom this one in. But, I mean, here you go. says -9 centigrade, 15 degree Fahrenheit. Man, I don't know, dude. Like, all I'm gonna say is I've yet to see a big brand sleeping bag actually live up to the temperature rating.
Okay, let me propose this to our audience. If you're watching live, we can react in live time here. And if you are commenting, just listening to the episode, we can read them and check it out next week and see what you said during the show. But I would love to hear in the comments what's the most you've ever paid for a top quilt, a sleeping bag, or an under quilt. So I want you to tell me how much it was and basically what it was. Like,
Yeah.
for example, I bought a Western Mountaineering top quilt. It was a 25-degree top quilt, and it cost $468. So tell me the temp, tell me the cost, and any other info about it. I'd love to see, just as a quick survey, what other people are buying out there. And some people are saying they make their own gear, which is a good
Yeah.
way to save money. How much does it cost to make it yourself if you're somebody that makes gear? Like,
I
what's it
think
comparable?
Jeremy would be a great one for that because he's actually done that. So, Jeremy, if you're still on here, let us know what you think. But so this is one from Western Mountaineering. They seem to be like the Mercedes Benz of sleeping bags. $765 for a 15-degree sleeping bag,
I think they might be a little bit overrated because
and
that one
that's
doesn't keep me as warm as I want.
well, and look at it's 850-degree fill power. So we're not talking about huge
Not
fill
the
power here. 850. I mean that's big, but it's not 900.
I still think that's pretty good though. 850. I mean, it doesn't get
Oh,
that much.
it's good, but what I'm saying is you can get 900 fill power down from, like you said, from UGQ or a company like that for a lot less.
Yeah, and they even do 1,000, but I've only seen it in jackets myself. I
Yeah,
haven't seen it.
I've got one jacket that has that. Um, but let's look over at UGQ. I'm actually on their page right now. Let's see if we can.
Yeah.
Let's make a quilt right now.
All right. Yeah, on
Can we
their
do that?
website while you're pulling up the quilt to make it, their website is basically kind of custom. You can pick out what color you want inside, outside. You can pick out what your fill power is, if you want it over stuff, what the size is by like width. We even had they normally, I don't think, really have an option for sleeping bags. You tell them, hey, I want a sleeping bag, not a
Right.
top quilt, and then they'll sew in a zipper so you can zip it up. That's
Yeah.
what we did with Bridget's, and she has old Brad Paisley, a Paisley
Oh yeah.
uh hers. Yeah.
That used to be the backdrop for your videos for a while there.
Yeah, at the old house before we switched to this one, got a different studio.
We got 3 people so far that have commented, but a $400 UGQ 20-degree top quilt.
That's pretty
Um,
good.
Suga canadensis, one of my favorite names in all of the internets. A 0-degree war bonnet Wookie and Diamondback cost north of $700 with over stuff.
Oof.
Steve Wright, I paid $700 for a 10-degree Western Mountaineering bag.
And let me know, Steve, yours is Western Mountaineering. Let me know in the comments, does yours keep you as warm? Like, do you think it's worth it? Because I feel like I overpaid, honestly.
Yeah. Huck Outdoors, $450 for an Enlightened Equipment Enigma 950 fill 10-degree long wide quilt last year.
Let me tell you this one,
So
dude. This is a brand I hadn't heard of. But Jonathan's been using it, and he's like, "This is really good, budget friendly version, and you can get the whole thing for way less." Like, somebody had paid 384 for a top quilt, and he was like, "Bro, you can get it for half that for the whole setup." I think it's under 400 for it's. I'll have to look it up, man. Go ahead and build your quilt. I'll tell you here in a minute.
Well, Go East Hiking said, not my most expensive, but I got an 850 fill top quilt for $85 Canadian, which means that would cost all like $27 American.
Wait, what? $85 for an 850 fill quilt. Where's he shopping at?
I don't know. Yard sale?
Yeah, buying it secondhand. I don't even know how you get it that cheap.
Yeah. Anyways, let's go over here. I'm going to pull up the screen here so you guys can see this. We're on the UGQ page right now. And it says Bandit Top Quilt, and it says there you can get it for as low as $275 up to $594.95. So we're going to go ahead and do this thing up right. So we're gonna go. Let's zoom in over here if it'll let me. Here we go. We're definitely gonna go with 950 fill. We're gonna start off with that right now. Let's go 0 degree temperature rating. Let's just make this the most ultimate warm thing. Um, if we're gonna do this, we probably need to go extra wide for us fluffy people. Because Jeremiah's on the podcast, we're gonna go extra long. We're gonna add 3 ounces of 950 over stuff. And we're going to go ahead and add another 2 ounces of overfill in the foot box because we're basically going to be sleeping in the Arctic. And because I get to pick out all of this stuff, I'm going to make the inner shell color. Let's see. How do we want to do this? We'll go with a crimson. Well, nah, let's keep it light so if we drop anything in our hammock, we can see it. So we'll go with a white on the inside, if it'll let me here. Let's try this. So we'll go with a white on the inside. The outer shell fabric, we will just stick with the MRS20. We are definitely going to do draft collars. And we are not, let's see, let's do both. Let's do both here. Dynamic tension control, yes, we'll add that on there. Footbox style. Jeremiah, do you want fully insulated or do you want it to be a flat box or a zipper and draw cord?
I want the fully insulated.
Okay, so we're going fully insulated on that. We're not going to taper it. How's that sound? Or should we taper it?
No taper, man. I want that dead air space down there.
Okay, there we go. We got that. Then we'll go ahead and do the deluxe pad straps. And you've already got, they gave you a continuous strap, so don't have to worry about that. And then we'll get a roll top dry bag for it for good measure. $814.90.
Oh, it's a tough pill to swallow. No offense, Chad.
Now, realistically, this is so overdone, it's ridiculous. And also, yeah, and I know UGQ. I'm gonna show you a few things that are unnecessary. Overstuff, completely unnecessary. Pull it all out of there, because their sleeping bags are already overstuffed a little bit, and they're always warmer than the temperature rating. So we're just gonna go ahead and take that off of there. That dropped it down to $739.90. So that dropped about $100 off of it and about 5 ounces. So we'll do that. And then let's keep going here. Let's go wide and let's go long instead of extra wide and extra long. And because it doesn't really get down below 0 here in Kentucky, let's take it to 10 degrees. Just because I'm curious right now, Jeremiah. I'm just curious. I want to know what's going to happen. So we do that, and all of a sudden our price dropped another $100, and we're now down to $639.90. Let's get rid of the roll top bag because, truthfully, I would never use a roll top bag. So that drops it to $589. So we're now under $600. I tend to like the taper style, only because for me it's just it's a little warmer for my feet. And I tend to like having the drawstring and zipper cord because if it does get hot, I can loosen everything up and use it like a blanket instead of using it like a quilt. So after doing all that, the final price for what I would probably get, $540 is what we're looking at.
That's still expensive, but it is I feel like more appropriate for what you're getting, and it's also weighs just under 31 ounces.
So it's less than 2 pounds. Yeah, less than 2 pounds.
Yeah. And what's the temp rating on there?
Temp rating is 10 degrees.
Okay.
Which a 10 degree, honestly, I will shoot straight with you guys on this. I have several UGQ quilts, and every one of them is 10 to 15 degrees warmer than it says it is.
Well, let me throw this out to you, man. Let me give you the alternative. If you're on a budget, you're pinching more pennies than, $600 kind of out of the question for some of us for just a top quilt with all the bells and whistles. HangTightShop.com. Free shout out for them. HangTightShop.com. Dude, this is somebody that Jonathan had introduced me to, that he had met at one of those hang meetups that we were talking about earlier. And I looked at his 10-degree hammock quilt set, and it's $317 for the top quilt and under quilt. So I was like, man, he could charge more. Like, that is $317 is dirt cheap. Now, you're not going to get all the same features. Like, I don't think he's got draft collars. So that would be kind of a deal breaker for me. But it's 800 feel and it weighs 38 ounces. So I'm just saying, if you're on a budget, there are other things out there. Don't be discouraged, um, thinking that you're not going to be able to afford to get
Well,
whatever sleeping bag or top quilt you want.
even their 40-degree setup, I mean, you're looking at only $223 for both.
That's
And
cheap to get out.
it's 800 fill down, and it's 16 ounces, a pound for each one. So a total of 2 pounds. So for about the weight of that 10-degree bag, of course, that's a 10-degree bag too, so we want to throw that out there. But I mean, you're talking, I mean, like I said, that's 16 ounces a piece for both quilts. So that's
Wait a second.
really good deal.
This says weight each is 38 ounces.
The top quilt is approximately 48 by 76 and weighs 16 ounces. The bottom quilt, the under quilt weighs 26 ounces. Okay, I messed up on the under quilt.
I would say shop. Yeah, you can definitely shop around, and there are gear makers that you haven't even heard of. Some of them are mom and pop, and ship it to you. Great customer service because it's people like you that they love making the gear. Most people that get into it and it's a mom and pop place, they've gotten out and they're like, oh, I want this. Nobody makes it. Let me make it. Or, oh, I can't afford this. So let me just make it to save some money. And then boom, you turn it into a business. And here he is, selling these. I mean, that's cheap. That's the budget.
Yeah, that's ridiculously cheap. And the hope is that companies like this can keep those prices down, but we know how things go with manufacturing over time and things get more expensive. But I mean, here's the overstuffed heat seeker 10-degree setup that you were talking about. $317.
It's cheap, man. That's what I was saying. The 38 ounces that we were looking at 2 different packages.
Yeah, but it's still 800-degree down. I mean, it's a little heavier, probably. I would say because of the shell fabric is probably heavier. And maybe the what they're using for the suspension on the inside of it, the tensioning and everything might be a little heavier than what they use at some other companies. But that's also what causes you to not have to spend as much money. So
let me say a couple things from the comments from earlier. Doc was saying the 10-degree, just under $200 hammock gear during a sale. You can wait on sales for some of these companies that, I know UGQ, we've already talked to them and they're not really doing the sales, but there's a lot of companies that still do sales. And I think UGQ, to supplement that a little bit, we're doing, like if you buy this during this time, then you get XYZ for free along with it, to entice some more sales. Another thing in the comments, Jeff was saying the 950 feel, you could take that off. That's just for weight savings. You're basically asking yourself, how much more money do I want to pay for a higher fill power so it weighs less?
Right.
So if you can afford the 650 feel, that's all you can afford. It's heavier, but it's cheaper. If you can afford the 950, it's going to be lighter, but they're going to reach in your pocket and take some. So,
yeah. Well, and somebody else just came up with another company. We'll look it up while we're on here because I really enjoy doing this kind of stuff. But this company right here called Cumulus. Apparently they make some really decent priced sleeping bags. So let's see what we got here with these guys.
John's doing the podcast and shopping at the same time. He's like,
I have bought things. I have bought things live. That's not something that hasn't happened. That has happened. So
this guy finds a good deal, and he's like, okay, yeah,
these don't look cheap.
No.
Oh, those are Expedition ones. Hold up. Let's go down a little bit. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Now we're starting to get down here. Okay, we're getting down to normal people prices. Okay, these temperatures are like negative degree temperatures. So let's get into regular people ones. Okay, here we go. $335, weighs 28.57 ounces, 32-degree comfort, 850 quilt or down fill power. That's not bad. This one's a 21-degree comfort. I appreciate the fact they put the limit is 9 and the comfort's 21. They put both those on there. So that'll keep you warm down to pretty low temperatures, but $379 for that. Weighs right around 2 pounds. They've got these ones down here that are softer, but they're a little more expensive.
That's a great way for them to set the website up because you're looking at most important information to make an informed decision.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing, if you're only doing backpacking trips where you're hiking in 2-3 miles, a lot of times the weight isn't as big of a deal as it would be for someone who's doing, 10 to 15 to 20 miles in a day. Obviously, that
Mm.
weight's going to be a lot more important. But there's a lot of companies out there that make good stuff. And yeah, Steve Wright just said, you got to convert to Celsius sometimes. Here's the thing. I would love to be able to say in my head, I can convert to Celsius. I can't, because I never use Celsius. I mean, just being honest, I would love to say I can just convert it off the top of my head. I can't do that. I wish I could. And if I could, I would do it every time.
I was looking up the formula. It's the Fahrenheit minus 32 times 5/9.
Times 5
So
ninths.
times 5 or 1 over 1.8. Yeah.
Yeah, you're the math guy. That's going to be you, man. That's going to be all you.
All right. You want to wrap with?
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this before we do this.
Okay, go ahead.
What is too expensive for you?
Oh, the $1 million question, huh? But I'm gonna say if it's gonna keep me warm down to 0 degrees, I don't want to pay more than 500. That's kind of I'm like, man, if I'm doing 500 for the bottom, 500 for the top, under quilt, top quilt, that's $1,000. That's pretty heavy for me, man. It's tough to come across $1,000 just to buy 2 pieces of gear.
Yeah. I think at my age, that weight matters more. And so I will put some money aside for a while so that I can get the one that weighs a little less, that still keeps me warm. But I think for me, it's is it really the temperature rating or is it a survival rating? So
Well,
yeah, there's a lot of things there, but I'm willing to pay more if it means I'm going to sleep well and stay warm and not hurt my back while hiking.
so what's the money amount?
I'm going to say anything over 7, I'm probably not going to do.
So 7's your cutoff, huh?
I think 7's probably my cutoff. Yeah. I don't think I could do $800 for a sleeping bag.
It's a lot, man.
Ask me in 5 years when eggs cost $15 a dozen, and maybe I'll just be like, yeah, I'll pay like $1,200 for a backpack or a sleeping bag.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right, let's finish this thing off. We got some fair or foul.
Yeah. So you just answer fair or foul. We can elaborate if you want to. We don't have a ton of time, so we'll rapid fire some of them. But
okay, so do you want to be the one that reads these and I'll answer?
yeah, let's alternate. All right.
Okay, that sounds good. That sounds good.
First one, fair or foul, bringing a whole roll of toilet paper on trail with you.
Are we talking long trail or weekend trip?
We're talking weekend, Friday to Sunday.
Foul.
Foul. Okay.
Foul.
What about through hiking?
Fair enough. If you know you're going to be out there for 4 or 5 days and you're not getting to town, and there's a possibility you could end up with the runny stuff. I would rather be. That's one of the things I'm willing to add an extra couple ounces into my backpack for.
Hey, I agree with you. A little insurance policy, if you will.
Yes, exactly.
All right, hit me with the next one.
Okay, the next one is tuna packet in trash bag for 4 days. Now you're talking a used tuna packet open in your trash bag for 4 days. Fair or foul?
I bring a gallon Ziploc as my trash bag.
So do I.
Time. And I dump it at the end if I'm through hiking, whenever you're resupplying. But
now, I will say this. I put all of my food for each day in a gallon bag. And so after a couple days, if we happen to come up on a place that has a trash can, I will take the old trash bag and throw it away and grab one of my food bags from one of those days and use it because of my opinion on the tuna packet. So go ahead.
Foul as it gets, bro. That is
Very
the
foul.
nastiest thing. You need to rinse out that tuna packet or something. Lick it clean. I don't care how you get it clean. Rub some dirt in it. Don't be stinking up. Oh my gosh, dude. You can smell it when you unroll the food bag. You're sitting next to somebody and you're like, man, how long has it been since you threw your trash away?
It's hurt my feelings thinking about it.
I can smell the tuna right now, bro.
Yeah, my eyes are watering. I'm not even smelling it, but I can feel it. Like it's awful. It's awful.
It's foul. All right.
It's foul. Foul.
Sleeping in your hiking socks.
Foul. Bring socks to
Why?
sleep in, man. They're gross, dude. Like my feet sweat so bad.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I will and they'll be damp because of my hiking. So they have to be dried out for the next day. Sometimes I'll take them down to a creek or something, even if it's a weekend trip. I'll take them down to a creek and I'll rinse out all that sweat and nasty that I can to get them cleaned up, and then I'll sleep with them in my sleeping bag or my quilt overnight, and they'll be dry
Mm.
in the morning, but I'm not wearing them.
Well, I'm an ultralighter, and I only want to bring one pair of socks. And
Then
if they're
sleep
wet, I
barefoot.
can sleep. Yeah, but if I sleep in them, it'll dry them out for the next day.
Listen, dude. Listen.
Foul,
Foul.
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 Go ahead.
Okay, double dipping in someone's food bag, or what is that? Communal food on trail.
Yeah, like let's say that somebody had a jar of peanut butter, or they did one of those rehydrated meals, and you get to try some of it, but your spoon is the spoon you ate off of. That's kind of the question. Is it fair or foul? Is what John's asked. I wrote these up. If you're like, why is John? What is he? That's my handwriting.
Yeah.
Sorry. I say fair,
Fair.
fair, fair.
You're a nice
It is.
guy.
It is fair because you know what? Everybody's spoon is dirty out there. And you know how I clean my spoon on trail?
I lick it.
My tongue.
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
I lick the spoon and so it's fair, bro. My spoon's gonna be dirty. If you let me try something, you might as well get it in your head. That's a dirty spoon. As simple as that. What's the comments say?
More what I would say is well, Doc Watson says double dip in my own bag only.
Oh, okay.
So
I respect.
I'm not as worried about the dipping as far as them using the spoon. It's precious food I don't want you eating because it's my food. I read this completely different. I read this as a mooch. Some dude is like, man, that's
Oh,
good. I'm gonna get some more. Oh, I'm gonna get some more. Hey, can I have another bite? That's what I'm thinking of. So I'm like, heck nah. You're not double dipping
this
in my
guy,
food.
he's looking to double dip.
I'll tell you. And then you got this right here. If you know the people well, then double dipping is fair.
Okay.
Otherwise, foul. We're getting a lot of comments on these actually. So Steve Wright says that bears love me. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but bears love me.
Maybe not the best thing whenever you're in the
Yeah.
woods. You might want the bears to run away.
It's actually kind of making me nervous now. Doc Watson, foul. I don't wear socks. He doesn't wear socks. I think he hikes
Ever.
in either toe shoes or sandals or something
Barefoot,
like that.
maybe. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Then you've got Suga Canadensis. Yes to sleep socks.
Agree.
Sleeping in their socks. Is it sleep socks or sleeping in your hiking socks? That's the question on that
there.
one. Yeah, so we'll see. And then Jeff Peters says, I feel gross trying to dry out my hiking socks in my tent when it's raining outside. They're just nasty, man. Nobody's feet smell good after a long day of hiking. It just never, it's never good. Never good. So, okay, let's keep moving on here. We got the next one, which is breaking.
Let's wrap with this. Let me give you the best one.
Oh, we don't have to break. I got a few extra minutes. I want to do these. These are fun.
All right. Go ahead.
These.
Go
I
ahead.
like these. Breaking camp before sunrise.
Oh, being loud in the shelter. Everybody's asleep. You're breaking camp. You're trying to get out of there. You're waking people up. Fair or foul. It's okay as long as you're quiet. That's fair. Nothing wrong with leaving whenever you want to leave. Foul. If it's 5 a.m., this happened every day on the Camino, bro. Every day I didn't have a private room when you're in a communal space.
Yeah.
Happened all the time when I was on the long trail. You're at a shelter. Somebody wants to get up at 4:45 and get out of there. And you're like, bro, it don't get light out till 7 a.m. Where are you going? And they just got to get out of there and wake everybody up. Foul, foul, foul. What do you think?
I agree. Unless I want to get up at 5.
Oh, you're the foul. You are the foul.
No, I'm usually pretty quiet. I usually keep it pretty quiet. And I usually, because I snore, I try to like sleep away from everybody anyways. So,
Okay.
And taking down a hammock is actually quieter than taking down a tent because you don't have poles.
Yeah,
So there's
the
no
poles-
clanking. There's no clanking and noises like that when you're doing stuff, and there's less zippers. So it's just a little bit quieter when you're putting stuff up, and I'm pretty quiet. So I will
All
say
right.
that. I will say that. So
Let me give you the next one.
yeah, let's hear
How
the next one.
about, speaking of drying your socks in tents, fair or foul, bringing your shoes into the tent.
Foul. Just foul. Don't you've got you've got an area outside the door. Keep your shoes there.
Wrong. John's
Keep
wrong.
it there. What is the
Bring-
point of bringing them in and getting that crap all on the inside of your tent?
Let me give you a little pro tip.
Pro
You got
tip.
it's back. It's
It comes
back.
from, is this from the long trail?
This is from all my experience, man. You got to take those shoes. It should sound like a gunshot whenever you're smacking the shoes together, the soles of the shoes. You
Yeah.
blow, 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 knocking the mud off and stuff. Then the shoes go in the tent. I have left my shoes out, and then thankfully I shook it out in the morning. Sometimes I just stick my foot in there, live reckless. I shook it out, and there was a centipede the size of my index finger inside my shoe. And I said, man, if I had to put that on, it probably wasn't even poisonous. I was probably just being a big wuss. But I don't love centipedes. I don't want one around my foot. Shake your shoes out if you're going to leave them outside, or stuff your socks in there. But I say bring them inside the tent so no bugs, no snakes, no nothing gets inside there while you're sleeping.
Chicken Little Trex disagrees with you, and so do I. Nope, the Durston deserves better than dirty shoes. Here's the other thing about it. There's already enough smell from my underarms and my body sweating in that room. The last thing I need is foot funk on top of that while I'm in my tent. I would prefer to keep those shoes out of, they smell terrible. I don't want them in my tent. I don't want them near me. Keep them in the keep them in the vegetable.
In the vegetable.
Keep them in the vegetable and keep them away from me. That's all I'm saying. Look at this. No shoes in tent, dirt everywhere.
No,
shoes
you got to use
look
the
at this. You're losing, dude. Shoes in tent, foul. You still get the inside effect from the stink traveling through the mesh. The stink, see? I'm not the only person that thinks about this. So
maybe y'all just got stinky feet. Did you ever think of that?
Yours probably smell like petunias and roses, man.
That's right. So does my poop. My poop smells great too. Roses.
Here's another one. Also, look at research of fecal matter on shoes.
Oh, wait a second. Hold on now. Full stop. What?
Well,
fecal matter.
What if you accidentally step on like bear scat or something like that on trail, and then you bang your shoes together, but there's still poop sticking to the bottom of your shoe, and you put that in your tent?
Okay, you got me there. You got me.
That's pretty nasty. That's a good point. I didn't even thought of that. That's a great point. So, all right.
I don't want in there. That's true.
Here we go. You ready for this one? I'm interested in your answer to this because I think this one's fantastic. Bringing pillow from home.
I met a guy on the long trail. Actually, he was like a physical therapist, and he was a chiropractor. I was like, interesting. I met him the second night on the trail. I was like, what do you got there? He was like, oh, this is a pillow I brought from home. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, I'm doing the Appalachian Trail. And I was like, you've reached all the way to Vermont. I was just starting the Vermont Trail, the Vermont Long Trail. He had hiked from all the way from the southern terminus in Georgia all the way up to Vermont. And I was like, you had that pillow the whole time? He's like, yeah. I was like, well, what else you got? He's like, the pillow. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, this is my luxury item. I don't bring a chair. I don't bring extra stuff, but I'm a chiropractor and a physical therapist. And I was having some knee issues, and he helped me with them. Actually, he was diagnosing it, showing me some different stuff to do to help with my hiking so I didn't have pain. But yeah, he had brought a pillow. Now it was the size of it was basically 25% of a pillow, but it was like the regular stuffing that a pillow has. And he's like, yep, I bought this one. Took it on the trail. I think a pillow from home, foul. It's foul. I say they make so many ultralight, inexpensive pillows that you could bring that would be almost as comfortable. It's not worth bringing one from home. Plus, everything's dirty out there. Like y'all been saying, you want poop on your pillow from home? Is that what you're telling me? No.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, here's a couple comments on this one. Seems cool to me. Take a normal pillow and sew it down in size. Now, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. That's a good one. Jeff Peters said, pillow from home on car camping trip? Fair. And I will have one with me this weekend. Foul on backpacking trip. If your pillow is a stuffed sack full of dirty hiking clothes, double foul.
Couldn't agree more.
So, all right, we're getting down to the last two here. So, Jeremiah, you're up.
All right. The penultimate fair or foul question is hanging your food in a shelter while through hiking. Fair or foul?
Here's the thing: I've not my kind of through hiking. I never stayed in a shelter.
Well, let's imagine that you are.
So if I was staying in a shelter, it just depends on where we are too. Like if I'm in the Smokies, I don't think I'd want to put my bear bag in a shelter because of all the bear activity. So I would definitely put that up on one of the steel belt or steel cable things that they have. If I was in the Red River Gorge, if there was a long trail that went through the Red River Gorge and there was a shelter, I'd just hang it up in there because nothing's really going to get to it. But from what I've heard, people that hike on the AT, I mean, we talked to the guys a couple weeks ago. They both hung theirs in the shelter. And so I'm guessing it's fair. Is that safe to say?
I'm going to say fair with the caveat low bear activity.
Low bear activity. Yeah, I would agree with that.
That's the main thing. Your big issue is you're attracting animals to the shelter. But I got news for you. Like we talked with Metro and Crizzacone a couple weeks ago, those mice are in the shelters, and you hanging your food or your backpack from those little hooks in there, you're mainly not wanting to get them chewed up. That's the point of hanging them there. It's not to keep raccoons away or bears away or anything like that. So if you can hang it, but man, I'm telling you, after being on trail for a month, I mean, you need to, but the last thing you want to do after walking 22 miles that day, half the day in the rain, and you're just sick and tired and want to go to bed, and you cook you some dinner, it's getting dark. The last thing you want to do is go find a tree to hang your food on. That's a tough chore. I hate washing my dishes and I hate hanging the food. So yeah, I got the answer though. If I just take Bridget on every trip, I'll cook, I'll set everything up. I'll just let her clean the dishes and hang my food. Easy peasy. She can even carry my backpack if she wants to. Wouldn't hold it against her.
Oh, and I'm sure she'd do that. I'm sure she would do that for you. Yeah, we got a few comments on this one. Doc says, foul. Through hiking trails are popular. Don't want food in shelter. We got Jeff Peters. He says, foul. That's an invitation for all the mice to eat all your food. Suga Canadensis. Foul. Never hang food where you sleep. Steve Wright says, mice can get your food. And Doc Wilson says, as Jeff Peters said, mice and squirrels will get to them.
Yeah, but I have a counter argument to that. And I do like that y'all are engaging.
Yes.
And I do like it. That's an opposing view. I encourage that. I will say a lot of people put a little can, a tuna can, or, anything, a pop can that'll keep mice from crawling down the string in the shelter. But I totally get it. And, if somebody, there's been times where I was in a shelter and somebody asked me to move the food and I moved the food. I have no problem with it. So you always want to make sure the other people, you're not stepping on you don't want to be non-courteous to the other people that are around you, because you would expect the same of them. So if somebody asks you to move it, or you don't feel comfortable putting it in there, or you think it's foul and you're okay with asking somebody to move it, I'm totally on board, and I would be courteous and move it, and I have in the past. But I will tell you, I'll put it in there, just like I said before. Fair is if it's low bear activity. But I totally get it. So maybe I'm wrong, but go ahead.
Low for X says it used to be okay to eat cheese in a privy, but now we got Pooh Bear. Now, if you are listening right now and you have no clue what that is, or if you're watching right now, you're like, what is he talking about? Go listen to our episode. Just, what was it, 2 episodes ago, right? Episode 283. Episode 283. We had Crizzacone and we had Metro on the Move on, and they both were talking about different things, and that story came up in there. So definitely check that out. Jeremiah, last one. Singing out loud on trail around strangers.
Guilty.
You're the guy that's done it.
Guilty. So the situation is, this is one of those things where somebody's like, who sings that song? And you're, Trace Atkins sings that song. And then they're like, okay, let's keep it that way. This is one of those things. Um, yeah, I'm going to say foul. I'm going to say foul. Nobody wants to hear my singing. Nobody wants to hear your singing. Nobody wants to hear your Bluetooth speaker on trail. Nobody wants to have you have headphones in and you're yelling at the top of your lungs. But bro, sometimes you can't contain it. Sometimes you just gotta let it out. What can I say? And what's more fun than being out there? It's total privacy on trail, even though sometimes you didn't know and there's strangers around and they've been walking behind you for 10 minutes, listening to you sing God knows what terribly the whole time. Foul, but I've been there.
Fair enough. Well, Jeff Peters actually says singing is fair. It may be wrong, but fair.
I like it.
So I will have to agree with you. I do think it's foul unless it's funny.
Yeah.
Now, I think someone who's singing at the top of their lungs and it's awful and they know it and everybody's just laughing their heads off, I'll get over it. It's that guy that thinks he's the lead singer of Journey, and he's barely Homer Simpson, you know? And it's just like, this dude is just like belting it, thinking he's all that. I am totally cool with that guy just going to find another place to be.
I got to check these age demographics, these references. The lead singer of Journey.
Oh, come on. Journey's so more popular now than they were when they came out.
Do they have the same singer?
No.
I didn't think so. Yeah, when they come out?
Like late 70s, mid to late 70s?
Yeah, most of us are not alive.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
But I mean, their songs are sung at every sporting event now, and I mean, it's crazy. They had a huge comeback in the last 10 years.
Yeah, let me see here. Journey. Band. Rock band, it auto-populates. I was going to say the lead. It's Steve Perry.
Well, Steve Perry was the original singer. Now it's a guy from, like, the Philippines, I think.
Yeah, but doesn't he sound exactly like Steve Perry?
Exactly, except he's got a little bit of an accent.
Arnell. I'm going to butcher his last name.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't insult everybody.
Yeah, Arnell. We'll call him Mr. Arnell.
Yeah, and Jeremiah saying most of us weren't alive. Doc Watson was alive. Not Doc Wilson. Doc Watson. He was alive.
Yeah, you did say Doc Wilson.
Yeah, I did say that earlier. And Loafer X, Journey is timeless. So
I agree. Even though dated reference, but that's okay. We'll let it slide.
Hey,
don't stop.
The backpacking. See, you're singing it right now, and you weren't even born.
I can't help it, bro. Sometimes you got to let it out.
That's what I'm saying. It's always older music too. It's never like something new that people are singing in the woods. It's always older music.
Can I make a confession?
Yes, please do.
I almost started singing "Don't Stop Believing" when you said Journey, but I had to Google and just to make sure I didn't embarrass myself. Because how embarrassing would that be?
Oh, that's funny, dude. Well, hey, this has been a fun episode, folks. It's been a good time hanging out with everybody. Jeremiah, as always, it's a good time hanging out with you. Folks, check out the Shadow Light backpack from Outdoor Vitals. We'll have a link to it in the description of the video after this goes live. You guys are awesome. This has been such fun. Over 207 comments in the last hour. So you guys have been fun to hang out with today. Have a great one, Jeremiah. I'll see you on the next one.